and welcome to the new format of Points of Interest. I'm one of your hosts, Jake, along with my co-host James over here.
Hey guys.
If you're new to the show, this is Inverted Reality's gaming news podcast. Each week we collect video game news and stories from around the internet and bring them all to you in one place. You can watch the show here on youtube.com/invertedreality or listen to it on the podcast service of your choice. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at IRGames. Stay up to date with what we're doing. We'll let you know with all these magical changes that we've been making in the last several months. So if you have watched the show before, you may notice that it looks very different.
It does look different.
So,
I mean, and it's interesting because I still gave like my normal fun like visual cues I do with my hands that throw you off, but you have no idea because you're not here. So you're gonna go back and edit and be like, "What is wrong with you, you stupid idiot?"
No, I get to see all the surprises and stupid crap you do later.
There'll just be one you just like cut to my camera and it's just like my butt, and you're just like, What's wrong with you? What's your problem?"
Yeah.
So get ready for that.
If you missed our update video, which we put out a little while ago,
A few days
you can
ago.
go check it out.
We'll say a
Or
few days.
We'll explain it here. Yeah, a few days. I have a new job in a new state, so therefore James and I are doing this remote podcast setup. And we used to release a show in little bits throughout the week until it all came out as one big show on Friday, but we're not going to do that anymore just for time constraints of my job is a little bit more busy than my job used to be.
At least initially. Who knows what's going to be like 3
we-
months from now? No one really knows.
It's true. Exactly. So now we're just doing separate video recordings and being the awesome people like that. But to get the show started, James, what have you been playing lately?
Boy, man, it has been an age since we got to bring up what we've been playing. It's funny because it's, we had...
I think the last time we did this segment, you were playing the same game.
No, maybe... No, because we play Destiny a ton. And so right now I'm in Destiny 2 a lot. Forsaken, which is the big year 2 update, similar to the Taken King from the first time around. That dropped on September 4th, and I went and tabulated it. And I'm kind of proud of it, but like there's a website you can go to that shows you a heat map of how many hours you play every day of Destiny, and then it just shows it all on a calendar. And so there's a nice big gap of like 3 or 4 months when we took off some time from it. And so I started up right before Forsaken. And so since Forsaken launched until today, I have put in 128 hours into Destiny 2, approximately.
In a little bit less than 2 months.
Yeah. Yeah, it's insane. Part of it was like, there's been a couple days where I've had time off work. So like my birthday, I put in 12 and a half hours.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I mean, you don't even like time just goes by, and so like I got up in the morning.
If you do it in like smaller chunks, like you play for a few hours and then like stop and eat lunch and do some other stuff around the house, and then you sit down and play for some more hours.
Right, I should have eaten lunch. That would have been good. No, because so like I got up and I took the kids to daycare and I got back, and so then I played and I had a snack around 1, and then I played until my wife got home. Went and picked up the kids, put them to bed, and then I started playing after because my wife had stuff to do, so I started playing after they went to bed, and then I think I played till right at midnight at least, and so then a little bit over that time would have been the next day. So I've put in a fair bit,
true.
And it's kind of crazy to me when I went up and added, and I know it is, and it's like that seems like a lot, but my wife goes to bed at 9. I usually stay up till 12.
We play,
so I've got like 2.5 or 3 hours every night where I just play, and it's just really good. So I played that a lot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what I did during the summer.
In fairness to last time we did this segment, you were playing Bloodborne and Far Cry 4.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I have the old notes pulled up.
Yeah, I finished Far Cry 4. I was going to push to platinum it, and I decided not to because it was just a little bit too grindy. It was a really good game, though.
Yeah.
I was really impressed with it. Bloodborne, I have like 3 bosses left, and I just kicked off. The Witcher. That's what we did this summer. We picked up The Witcher.
That's what it was.
Witcher
we played
3.
The Witcher.
I'm not through it. I just got to Skellige.
I'm not even close.
And I've been doing stuff in Skellige, and then Destiny came out, and I haven't picked it up since. We just picked up Black Ops 4, which we're going to talk about later in the show. But yeah, I just... Man, Destiny 2's just got it. Like I've got my first character up to max level, and my alt is now 591. Which the grind for the alt was super easy because you can take all the weapons once you hit 50, And since those were all 600, it jumped me up, and then 5 or
with
10
those.
hours. So it's awesome though. Like I love it. There's so much to do. There's so many secrets to chase. It's just beautiful, and it's sad because I want to play other games, but I don't because it's just this is perfect right now. So I don't know. What about you?
It's
What
just
have you
taking
been,
up all your time.
what have you been playing? I know what you've been playing, but for the sake of
I've been
this
playing
show,
all the things.
what have you been playing?
Well, I was playing. We were playing The Witcher.
Yep.
And then, not Far Cry, Spider-Man, right?
Well, you did Far Cry 5.
Spider-Man came in.
You did Far Cry 5.
I beat Far Cry 5. It was on the notes from last time.
Right.
So I beat that, and then I was playing The Witcher, and then Spider-Man PS4 came out. So I played that and platinum that because it's amazing. And if you haven't played it yet, you need to.
Yeah,
It is worth.
I'm one of those guys. Sadly.
You played a little bit of it.
Yeah, I
when
got
you
to
were
play
up here.
some when I was helping you guys move in. It was really hard
Yeah.
moving in. That's why we played video games most of the time.
It's true. Definitely didn't spend the whole day playing video games. But I picked up Black Ops as well because we redboxed it for 3 nights, and from that I was like, I really want this game. Like I'd been getting that Call of Duty itch.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I want to play some Call of Duty. So we were playing some Black Ops 3, and then I was like, well, Black Ops 4 is out, so let's just rent it. And then it was like, this is
So much
amazing. We're gonna
better.
talk about more later, so I'll stop.
After playing Black Ops
but-
4 for a bit, Black Ops 3 sucked.
Yeah, it did.
Just
Black Ops 4 is just so good.
it is.
Yep. But also a few days ago, I did end up picking up Red Dead 2.
I wondered if you were gonna
So-
cave and get that early.
I did. It was one of those things I was looking at, just kind of like where we're at right now, and then it was coming out in reviews. They're like 9s and 10s, and just hearing people be like, "Oh, this game is great," and I do love Western games, and so I was like, "All right, I want to play that," so I bought it, and I don't regret it.
How far? How much
It's
have you
really
played
good.
in it right now? Just a couple hours, or
I'm probably 8 or 10 hours in, maybe.
okay, yeah, because they say like 65 hours for the main story, which is ridiculous.
Which I believe.
Right.
I was honestly a little bit like, I mean, worried might be the word for it. Maybe not.
Yeah.
That it was just gonna be like Grand Theft Auto in a Western theme, but it's not. It's actually like
Like
it's not really probably like a deep RPG, but like you don't have like a skill tree or anything like that.
right.
You level up stuff like you do in Grand Theft Auto, where like running increases your stamina and that kind of stuff. But, like you
Like,
get a horse and you can.
That zombie game we played, Dying Light, right? Using the skills upgrades.
Oh
them?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, similar to that. Where and like Ratchet and Clank, like I like the style of using skills to upgrade them, not just like earning XP and then buying upgrades for skills.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad system, but I like this system better. You couldn't do it with a super deep skill tree,
Right.
just because it would take forever.
Oh yeah.
But
Sure.
it works well in this context. And like when you get a horse, you bond with the horse in order for it to like come to you if you whistle for it, and the better bond you have with the horse, the further away you can be to whistle for it.
Mhm.
It carries your big inventory. So like when you're riding the horse, you have access to all your stuff. But if you hop off the horse and like don't grab your rifle or your shotgun, you don't have it. It's just on your horse.
Right.
So it's one of those things to be aware of when you
yeah.
if
Very.
you're going somewhere where
very
there might be
realistic
combat.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
And I've
It-
seen
I mean,
some.
it's-
I've seen some stuff about people mentioning, like your hat. Like your hat isn't in your inventory. You got to remember to pick it up if you drop it, right? Is that
No, it's in your inventory.
Oh, it is in your inventory.
If you pick up a hat that's not yours and you lose it and don't pick it up, you won't have that hat.
Okay.
But your hat is always in your horse's inventory.
Okay.
So I've lost my hat a few times in different fights. Like if you get into fist fights, which are like hard,
Yeah, they don't
like
look easy.
it's not just like you start spamming.
Right.
Because if you start spamming punch, like they'll block it and they'll beat you to death. You have to actually block and kind of. It's not like strategy like Batman or Spider-Man where you block that. It's
Right.
slow. It's heavy because it's Rockstar.
Right.
But yeah, I lost my hat a few times, and once in the middle of a mission where I couldn't really take the time to go grab it, I just got on my horse and left, and it's in your inventory.
Okay.
So
Well, that's
your hat will always be there should you choose to want to wear it.
gotcha. Yeah, I mean it's interesting.
So, I
Everything
don't know if-
we've seen about it, it screams like this very realistic very down to earth, almost like a slow game. Is that kind of what you felt?
It is very
so far?
slow.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pretty slow, and I know like that's not some people's style.
Mm-hmm.
You kind of take your time through it. Just like I don't know if there's fast travel. I haven't unlocked it yet. If there is, or I just am an idiot and I missed it.
Mm-hmm.
But everywhere you want to go, you hop on your horse and ride there. Or if you're not within earshot of your horse where it can hear you whistle, you run to your horse. Like there's no quick way about it. You don't pull up your phone and call a car in. You run back to where your horse is, or you just catch a wild horse, which is possible. You can do that.
Interesting.
When I bought the game, it did come with pre-order bonuses. I didn't pre-order it, but it came with pre-order stuff.
Oh, nice.
So I had like a horse already that you buy, but it's free.
Oh.
So, and it's a good horse. The horses had different like stats, which are like or not agility, speed and acceleration, and how they handle. So there's like slow and then standard handling and then race horse style handling.
Right.
I guess turn. I imagine it's just the tightness of their turns.
Yeah, no, that's
So-
interesting. It's on my list. I mean, I think whenever you see a game like this kind of genre defining type of thing, we all knew that this was going to be a big hit. We didn't need the reviews to tell us that it's a
Yeah.
Rockstar game. This is normal for them
No.
lately. So it's one that I want to try, and when I have enough time to sit down with it for more than an hour, I want to Redbox it for a night and just kind of see, because it's like I've told you this before. I'm not big on westerns. Like I don't have a problem
Yep.
with them, but they just don't really like interest me. Like as a movie genre, as a video game genre, it's just kind of blah to me. So like I want to play it and get behind it and see. I know that Rockstar games have notoriously wonky controls, and I hear that this is no different.
They are strange.
But so I want to just take the time and just try it. I can't justify it because right now I'd rather buy Spider-Man. So I don't, even if I like it,
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to buy it right away. But with Spider-Man, it's eventually going to go on sale. You got DLC that's coming out for it that you can get maybe a Game of the Year version here in a couple months. Whereas with Red Dead's like this is probably going to be the same price for the next like year. Like it might go on sale
Yeah,
next Black Friday.
Let's put it this way:
So.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is still $60.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I don't see it going down anytime soon. So it's
That came out on the PlayStation 3. Let's not forget that.
yeah, seriously, that thing made what like $6
We're
billion.
almost through the next.
I think.
Yeah, we're almost through the next
nuts,
console
man.
cycle, and that game came out before that.
It is nuts.
And I promise, like if they release one on the next generation of consoles, which I think would be stupid, but it would. I guarantee you would sell like hotcakes there too.
Gosh, they'd have to
That's
put
just crazy.
out 6 at that point. There's no way they wouldn't. But
Yeah,
No, it's
they've
cool.
got to be working on 6.
it's cool. I mean, we'll talk more about it in another
Yes.
segment. But it definitely looks interesting, and I want to give it a try. And everybody and their mother loves it. So
It's true. It's good. I did see somebody point it out, and it is a dumb mechanic, but like you hit L1 to pick up a gun, and you hit square to pick up your hat, and you hit triangle to pick up something else. I'm like, why are they?
kidding me?
Why?
Ah,
I don't understand this.
that's stupid. That's
So,
Rockstar.
and there are weird buttons like circle is reload, like when you come to an obstacle, square is jump,
Gag.
triangle is get on and off your horse.
See,
I don't know. It's weird.
what's funny is because you see all these different button assignments and you think, oh, well, they clearly just had to like redo their expectations because they were doing that for PC because there's more buttons. And then like the PC release is nowhere to be found and like no announcement yet for it.
Yeah.
It's just like, that sucks for PC players. I guess
odd.
I was reading a little bit today. I guess they're having some issues with the PS4 Pro version. Apparently, it looks like hot
The Red Dead?
garbage. Yeah, like it looks fine in 1080p, but for actually like doing like 4K, apparently it's running like garbage. So
I was about to say mine doesn't look bad. but
no, because
I'm also only running. At
yeah, I mean, so
1080.
when you're running 1080p, you get the super sampling and you get better performance. But they say that there's some issues with the regular version of the Pro. So I don't know. You never know how widespread that is, but apparently the definitive version is definitely the Xbox One X version, which not a big surprise. We kind of knew that going in.
No, yeah, that's. I feel like Rockstar games just kind of have their home on the Xbox, and maybe it's just because like the people I watch play Grand Theft Auto playing on Xbox.
Could be.
But
Who knows?
who knows? But we mentioned it earlier, and we'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4.
Mm.
Black Ops 4. We love it. So we got it initially because we're like, we kind of want to play Blackout. We want to see what that's all about.
Right.
Because like, oh, Call of Duty multiplayer is going to be Call of Duty multiplayer. We always can always count on that. And in a sense, it is, but in another sense,
But it's not.
it's not, and it's so much better.
I mean, it's go ahead. You first.
No, I was just going to say like we could start with Blackout because that's the most different part of this Call of Duty game, aside from it having no story, which it kind of does. But
Yeah, it very barely does. I mean, I think Blackout's that thing that, you know, everyone's trying to jump in on this battle royale stuff, and it's not working for everybody. You've got Fortnite, you've got PUBG, and that's kind of the big players. And you've got H1Z1 if you want really crappy graphics, but it actually works, unlike PUBG.
yeah, where if you want crappy graphics and it doesn't work,
And you have to pay for it.
you have to pay for it.
But so it's kind of starting to, well, PUBG, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
But in terms of the Blackout, it's really smooth.
The Blackout. That was like the most dead thing you've said in a minute.
was a-
There are you guys playing the Blackout?
You guys played the Blackout? Yes, I love the Blackout. It's so good. It's so fun.
Oh, my shillelagh.
But no, it's I mean, we jumped right in. And granted, we picked it up about a week or so after launch, maybe a little bit longer than a week, and it was perfectly smooth. Found matches right away, which not a huge surprise. But no frame rate drops, no performance issues. Yeah, it doesn't look quite as pretty as the normal multiplayer stuff, but the scale of the maps are just
Huge.
It's huge. I mean, it's like every good Call of Duty map and a couple bad ones you've ever seen in Black Ops is in the, just tucked in this game in different sections. And so it's cool. Like, we're not huge battle royale people to begin with, but it's definitely like if you want to jump in for like an hour or two, you know, you don't have special versions of guns. You don't have like rare and legendary and stuff. It's just like, here's your guns, and you can grab like 6 attachments for it, and you build what you want, and you can use rocket launchers. And then, just when you think you figured it all out, there's zombies, and you kill the zombies, and you can get a ray gun if you want one. It's just like, it's just really cool stuff. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was fun. As far as I'm one of those guys that's not a huge battle royale fan. To me, it's just like, yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's fun. I understand the appeal. But for me, it's like, yeah, I got to drop in and just hope I find a weapon that I'm good with, that I'm familiar with. I got to hope I find medical gear. I got to hope I find this stuff. And then I got to hope I find someone
Right.
if I want to actually like shoot, or I hope I don't find someone if I want to last throughout the game, and then hope I pick the right. It's just a lot of chance involved, which I understand is some of the appeal of it. But all that being said, I did like Battle Royale a lot because it comes with the Call of Duty polish.
Yeah, it does.
So of the Call of Duty games, I would say my favorites are probably the Black Ops games, and maybe that's just because we spent a ton of time with the original Black Ops, 8 years ago, or I just like it better than the Modern Warfare versions. I don't know. But I like those the best, and so you took all those mechanics and all that gameplay and put it into the Battle Royale mode, and it works, and it looked good, and it's smooth, and it was fun. We had a couple matches where we got close to winning.
Yeah,
But-
we got top 10 a couple times. I mean, we only played it one night, and we really only started playing it first because your game hadn't finished fully installing
It was
yet.
installing.
Um,
No, the game was installed. It was a stupid freaking update.
oh, right, because the huge
Because
updates
there was like update 01 was 17 gigs, and then 02
was like
was like
51.
50. So like I had downloaded one when I got it because it didn't take very long,
Right.
and then I pulled up to start playing, and it was like, oh, update, which you can't just like not update. Like when I got Red Dead, I didn't search for the newest version,
Yeah.
but I probably could have, and it doesn't matter. There's no online feature that I
Right.
need in that. You can't get away with that in something like Call of Duty that's exclusively online.
Yeah.
Well, you can play locally if you want to, but
Right. Yeah, but so it was so we jumped into Blackout, and it was surprisingly good. I haven't gone back to it much. I want to.
I haven't either.
Probably. But the biggest part, not just the multiplayer, but one of the cool things that they have in it is the specialists. And I thought it was going to be kind of gimmicky like it was in the last couple Call of Duties. Because even though we haven't bought all of them, we've played pretty much all of them to come out for at least a little bit of time. And
Yeah, a little bit. We didn't play World War II, but
we did Infinite
we get it. It's Call
Infinite
of Duty
Warfare
and
quite a
World War
bit. And Infinite Warfare kind of had specialists. It wasn't quite as extreme. But this feels much closer to like an Overwatch style of thing. Like these are characters, and like you go in and you don't just have grenades and tacticals. You've got your ability and you've got your like special ability, which I keep calling my super because I've been playing Destiny for approximately half my lifetime.
I'm sure if an Overwatch player stepped in, they call it their ult.
Yeah, exactly. But it's interesting because all of the specialists feel very different. Not necessarily in the moment-to-moment battles, but just how you use those things. And so like right now I've been using Ajax a lot, which has a riot shield and a 9-bang, which is just a really fancy concussion grenade. And those two things usually don't mesh well with me because it just, I don't know, I don't like being tactical about games. I just like playing, but there's just something really fun about flashbanging a whole room and then running in with my riot shield and have my gun and my riot shield and just mow down everybody. Oh,
what you're describing is a tank character, which is exactly how you play.
I know
every game ever.
It's just like I normally don't even use that many tactics. I just jump right in. But I love how they introduce the specialist. If you guys haven't picked it up yet, they've got what's called Specialist HQ, and it's like a super mini small story. But basically, there's a tutorial for every specialist that tells you what your abilities are. It gives you a training mission on how to use them and where to use them, and then it puts you in a match with bots to use it in a real live function. And so you're able to get time with each one of them, get to know their abilities and get to use them and see which ones you like. And there's a lot of them that I've tried through that I never thought I would like, that I really enjoy. So that's been really cool.
Yeah, that mode also, if you have to be new to Call of Duty, is a tutorial for all the multiplayer modes. Mm-hmm. So it's like, oh, you're jumping into a hardpoint match with this specialist. So here's how you play hardpoint. Here's how you play domination. Mm-hmm. Which is confusing now because the domination version, Destiny's version of domination was called Control, and now there's a Call of Duty map, her version called Control, which is something totally different.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's it's
cool.
You know what? The Control in they do have a version of Control for Call of Duty that's in Destiny. It's in the competitive playlist. It's not. I think is it elimination, but you have like the two sites. You have to pick one to arm, and then if you kill everybody else, they all just die. It's kind of like Control in Black Ops.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Control in Call of Duty, which I believe it's a new mode. Don't quote me on that. Is that one side starts with 2 zones that they have to defend, and the other side needs to capture those 2 zones. And so each zone has like 3 segments. Mm-hmm. If you capture a full segment, you own that segment. They don't get it back. Yep. But if they stop you in the middle of capturing it, they can take it back down, a little bar, little progress bar. And if they capture both segments, they win. And each team has a limited number of lives. So it's kind of cool. I haven't played it online yet because I don't really want to, but I might.
Yeah, it's
eventually.
It's
seriously, when I play by myself, I just play like deathmatch modes.
Yeah, better safe than sorry. Just got to get your feet wet.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it's I don't know. Just there's something different about it. One of the big changes is the ability to heal yourself. There's no more auto healing in Call of Duty. It's all from a stim pack basically that you use. So
you described it different than everything else has been written in, because everything else is like you have to heal yourself now. You describe it as the ability, and I think that's a better way to describe it than like, oh, you have to heal yourself now.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you get to. It's like you can use it as a tactic now.
Yeah, it's awesome because the biggest thing about Call of Duty, it's always been a really fast-paced twitch shooter. Like if you're not the first person to react, you're going to lose the firefight every time. But now it's like I've had plenty of encounters where I start getting shot and I know that I can't win if I go straight up, so I slide off to the side, I get behind cover, I heal, take just a second, then pop back around, and now I've got the advantage. I'm healed up, so what he did before didn't matter. And the time to kill in general is just a little bit longer, which I think is really good.
A little bit longer.
So it allows more freedom, and I'm doing a lot better just because I'm not just immediately losing as soon as I start the encounter. So that's been really big for me personally.
Yeah, I really dig it. I like the specialist. So there's only like one specialist that has like a traditional grenade. Mm-hmm. Everybody else has another different kind of thing. I don't remember them all right now. I main is Nomad because he has the dog and it's really cool.
That's cool.
It's for me. It's like that's a specialist ability that doesn't rely on me being good. Like I just once I earn it, I can just like set it free, and it's like, oh, you go do all the work. Goodbye, have fun.
Right.
But the other thing it has, like, I like Nomad's what would be his grenade ability is essentially a trip mine.
Mhm.
They're called mesh mines or something else.
Mhm.
But you can just, as you learn the maps and get better about awareness, you realize where people run through. So you can just set mines. So as you're playing, you just doosh, mesh mine kill. It's like, oh, yay.
Yeah, it's
What a
I mean,
happy
as
feeling.
soon as he gets them, he pops them, and then just like 2 minutes later, because they don't just expire, and most people don't see them yet. It's right away, but it's cool because one of them's got a recon dart option where they shoot out a dart, and then it basically just has radar in that one specific spot as long as the dart stays active. One's got a tactical spawn deployment point, so you can toss it next to a point that you want to hold, and your team can spawn there if they choose to. There's all sorts of stuff, and it's really cool because now you don't have just constant grenades going over walls and coming around the corners and stuff.
Not a 3-second delay, and then all of a sudden a bunch of grenades fly out.
Right. So it's just super nice to have because it just changes the game so much more. So I just am in love with it right now. It's really good. I feel like there was one the other night where I had a 7 KD. I just like went off, and it was just so much fun.
Yeah,
So I'm really loving it.
it was crazy.
We always talk. We
It's
didn't.
the first Call of Duty in a while where it's fun. Like you still have fun even if you're losing.
Yep, 100%. That's been the biggest drawback I think the last few Call of Duties for us is if you're not winning every time, it's just miserable. And this is just fun. It's a lot like how Battlefield used to be, with just like Battlefield's fun no matter whether or not you are winning, which is kind of part of the next point. We didn't really get into zombies because we didn't really play zombies because zombies kind of scare us.
I didn't. I've done the tutorial for it.
Yeah.
Because they've added the version where you can use bots now to play zombies. You don't just, it's not either by yourself or with other people.
Yep.
You can put in bots, and so you can play zombies with AI.
Which I'd love to do that.
The tutorial for it was cool.
Mhm.
Like I think I was on a boat or in a hotel or something. I don't know. It was neat.
Yeah.
But it kind of seems like now this, take it with a grain of salt. We don't play zombies. We're not like that into it.
Mhm.
But it seems like very familiar zombie gameplay, and
Yeah.
I don't know. It was fun. You still have the healing
Right.
aspect of it,
That's
but
cool.
I thought it was cool. We might play it later
Yeah. But I mean,
at some point.
the big thing is whenever we talk about Call of Duty, you almost always have to talk about Battlefield because it's kind of, I don't want to say it's the direct competitor because it's usually two different audiences. But lately it kind of has been as Battlefield has started to produce more. Call of Duty has been kind of the competitor. This year, Battlefield got pushed back like a month and a half. And they're going to World War II, which is not where Call of Duty went. Normally, they're pretty similar where they go.
Call of Duty was there last year.
Right. Yeah. So Call of Duty did World War II last year, when Battlefield did 1. Battlefield 1 did not really ring true to people, I guess. They didn't love it.
Yeah.
So one of the things that is really concerning to me on Battlefield 5.
Boy, the keyboard's loud.
That's true. That's funny. Yeah. Mechanical keyboard. Yeah, I'm a streamer. See, that's how it goes. Pro streamer, mechanical keyboard. No, I was just pulling up
because the clickety clacks.
They had an open beta in September, and they just had some issues with it, and saw some changes because they changed up how much ammo you start with. You start with a lot less ammo because they want to somehow go more towards squads than they did before. Played the open beta for a bit and it just felt awful. Like you had maybe a clip and a half for your gun, maybe a full clip in reserve. It was just
gross.
Yeah, which I mean, the idea is that everybody can throw out, like everybody can revive everybody now. Medics can just do it faster. Ammo guys are, much more valuable than they were before. The little bit I played for a couple hours, I wasn't really feeling it. They're doing their single player war stories again. The idea is following World War II on the lesser known battles, which I don't know who's been asking for that, but I can't imagine it's a huge crowd.
I don't think many people have.
Yeah, why would I want to play Normandy when I could play? I don't know. What's a small battle?
I don't know. Exactly. So they can be making this up. None of us will ever know. Like only people that really dig into it be like, oh, that was a thing. 10 people were there.
Why do that when
it was
I can
9-on-1?
Do all the battles in Madagascar that I've been dying for? Not to make fun of the war,
really
but come
wanted
on
to
now.
go to Athens.
Come on now. But so they put out, they delayed to November 20th. I wanted to give you a little bit of insight of how we arrived at this new date. It's like, because nobody liked your game. That's what happened. Everyone said it sucked.
Because your game wasn't Yeah, but now they're in direct competition with Farming Simulator 19 on the Xbox One. So
Yeah, the big thing is because they were
You
going to
never know.
release right around the same time as Black Ops and the same time as Red Dead, which means they would have been Red Dead on arrival. Eh. But so the fun thing is
neither would have sold well.
they're talking about what their road plan no
Roadmap.
that's the one. I was thinking game plan. But their roadmap talks about what they
Here's
have
the game map, the road plan.
they have coming next, and their big battle royale, which is called Firestorm. There's a couple problems with it. It's not launching until March. If you're curious,
Also, the introduction of it was the funniest thing. If you didn't see the whatever press conference they were at E3, I guess it would have been EA's, wouldn't it?
right.
These guys walked out and said, "We're giving you everything what you've been asking for, battle royale," and there's like dead silence. It's just like, ooh,
Yeah, pretty much.
well then,
Yeah,
nothing to announce on a live stage at E3,
right. No, so it's not technically a delay, but they said it's not coming out till March 2019. It's Firestorm. The big thing is it's not going to be 100 people to start with, and it's only going to be squads. They aren't even going to start with solo for Battle Royale, which is an
So
option.
essentially, everything that battle royale is, they're not going to do.
Right, exactly.
Like Battlefield's been the game known for having giant multiplayer.
yeah,
Why wouldn't they be the ones to start with 100 players on the field?
yeah.
Squads, I suppose, like that's core to your gameplay. That makes sense.
Right.
Plays a squad, great, way to go.
Mhm.
But not have 100 people.
Yeah, but so they talked about things that are coming in, and they're adding game modes as time goes on over the first 4 months. They're calling it a live service is what they want to call it, which kind of sounds like we don't have all this stuff finished, but just wait.
Sounds like games as a service.
So like the multiplayer mode Rush comes back in January, as
Comes
if there might be a possibility that they don't have Rush in the beginning of the game's life. Like Rush is kind of essential to Battlefield, and maybe I'm misunderstanding this. But they're adding like combined arms, they're adding some like story stuff for single player. It kind of seems
Which,
like the game
that makes sense. Like add single player DLC later.
yeah, but like it's kind of looks like they're just adding the game as you go and giving you a half finished game at the beginning because everything's free.
Yeah.
No DLC pass or anything like that, which we were all excited about. But you're paying $60 for a half finished game, and it was delayed. So
I suppose we should have known something was up if it was going to be free DLC. I mean, right? Like,
that's what
I
you
wonder.
think.
I do wonder because we pay for DLC because they have to pay people to make it.
Right.
So I wonder if like game doesn't sell well, it's like, well, do we just like can some of this stuff? Like, I mean, you can't really do that if you already promise it.
right,
But maybe they just like went out as far as like, all right, this is how far we know we can make funds go. EA gave us this much money to go this far. We'll say we're going to go out this far with the DLC. We're going to end it with Firestorm.
right.
And then if it's sold well enough and enough people are playing it, we can do more later on. But this way, and I'm not saying this is what happened. This is just going to be speculating. But it's like this way is like, yeah, we can play it safe by saying you don't have to pay for DLC. But on the flip side of that, whereas we all kind of think we've won with not paying for DLC, this is where it might come back and get us.
Right.
Because if you don't pay for it, you don't get more of it. Because regardless of whether or not it costs us money, it costs them money to make it. So
Yeah.
this might be the kind of catch-22 of paying for DLC that we're all dealing with.
Yeah. And it's just for an official player count. Firestorm is currently a 64 player option. So no bigger than their normal multiplayer big modes.
Interesting.
And it's going to be squad only right now. Maybe it'll change between now and March. But knowing
So the difference in, I don't know. It just seems like the difference in a regular multiplayer map and then the difference in
it's just
Firestorm is like, oh, you're just teams of whatever it is, teams of four.
yeah.
Teams of four that spawn in all around the map as opposed to two, teams of squads of 4 spawning on opposite sides of the map.
Yeah, so it's interesting. I mean, there's some changes, with the modes not all being there at launch and kind of slowly going, and it kind of feels like they're rushing the game out just to beat Call of Duty. They're changing the squad play to make you more focused on squad plays, which is, an idea. I don't have
if it works better.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with squad play,
like,
but people never played in squads in Battlefield anyways, unless they're tryhards. So it's like, is this game going to suck if you don't play with your squad? Like, I don't know if that's a fun option.
yeah, that was the thing. It's like you could spawn in on your squad if they weren't in the middle of fighting someone. So it's like, is this, spawn on squad better? Because like I don't want to like be forced to play on a squad, and these 3 dudes are in the middle of fighting these 4 dudes.
Mm-hmm.
I died. I can't spawn on one of them, and I spawn over here at the just default spawn point.
Right.
And I get into a fight now. I don't have any bullets. So
Yeah.
it's like, what?
Yeah. So I mean, it's it's just interesting to me with all these things that seem to be changed, and one of those things, I don't know if this is a good direction for them. So with all these factors in with the delay, with how Call of Duty is kind of blowing them away for once, do you think that Battlefield 5 is already a foot in the grave before it comes out?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like Battlefield 1 came out and it was awesome because Battlefield only releases, once every, so many years.
Right.
So the years when Battlefield came out is the year that was like, oh, do I buy Battlefield or Call of Duty? Well, I'll buy Battlefield this year because Call of Duty is always the same. Call of Duty being the game we love to hate on, even though we love to play.
Right.
You could trust that it was going to always be the same. And Battlefield was like, oh, it's the big multiplayer experience. They have, a huge story and it's really fun. But this time it's like Call of Duty's like stepped it up. Treyarch put out a really great game that everybody loves to play. They made Call of Duty fun again. They made Call of Duty the game to play again. And so far, Battlefield 5 is shaping up to be one of those things like, I think I'll pass on that or I'll get it on sale.
Yeah.
Like, the internet's not lighting up about Battlefield 5 in a good way anyways.
Yeah.
Like, they're like, oh, I can't believe this. Or like when at E3, it was like, wow, Battle Royale. How original. Way to go, guys. So they were like the only game at E3 to announce Battle Royale as opposed to we thought every game was going to be Battle Royale.
Yeah, I
They were the
mean, we
only ones
saw
to do it, and it wasn't accepted
some lower developers do it, but as far as the big boys, I don't think we saw as much. And we knew Call of Duty was going to do one, and they called it Blackout, but they didn't tease it super cheesy like Battlefield did. And for frame of reference, Battlefield 3 was back on the PS3 days, and that was in 2011. Battlefield 4 was a launch title for PS4, and that was 2013. Right at the end of 2013. And then Battlefield Hardline was 2015, and that one was
let's not talk about Hardline.
depressingly awful. And then the quality goes.
It wasn't that bad, but it was not great.
Yeah, it was basically Cops and Robbers DLC that they should have just done. That was a cash grab. It's terrible.
Yeah,
and a crash grab.
100%.
So then 2016 was Battlefield 1, which was okay. It was cool at first, but it just got old really fast and was not as good as the other ones. And then Battlefield 5 is obviously this year. So they've been bumping up the timelines a bit. The quality's been degrading, and DICE games have always been known for lots of issues right at the beginning and taking forever to fix stuff. Just with all of those factors, it's Battlefield 5 Battlefield series has never been one of those that's going to compete on a dollar by dollar basis with Call of Duty. Like Call of Duty is this huge franchise that's not going to be touched by it. But it's a lot of times scores better and is better critically received than Call of Duty. And I think this might be the year that Call of Duty finally is like, no, we checked all our boxes and you forgot to put your boxes down, sir.
Yeah. I think one of the things that hurt Battlefield 1 was like, I feel like the DLC like really trickled out. Like it wasn't like, here's the game and here's the game in November or whenever it launched. And we're going to do DLC in January or February after you've been playing for a few months and are like, you're not necessarily ready for new maps, but new maps will only make it better.
Right.
It was like, here's the game. And I picked it up on Xbox maybe a year ago. And like I loaded it up and it's like, oh yeah, DLC coming this. I was like, oh, I remember them announcing that. Like, why is it still not come out yet?
Right.
I feel like and I didn't play it. Maybe I did. I don't know. But I feel like it doesn't add that much. Like, here's a couple maps. Now, their maps are huge.
Right.
And I understand, like, maps and landscaping, like, all this stuff is really hard to make, and it takes a lot of time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just like, boy, maybe, like, make a bunch of maps and then just don't release some of them.
Yeah.
There's your first DLC. Like, you have that ready. You can then
Mm-hmm.
get all the bugs out of your game and then release the new maps. And then while you've been working on bugs and working on maps, you can then release those later. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
Diddly squat about game development.
right,
but
exactly. But so like Battlefield 1, so for frame of reference, October 21st, 2016, They Shall Not Pass is the first one. It wasn't even announced until December, and it didn't release until March 14th, 2017. So you're talking 5 months between the game and the first expansion. The next one came in September of 2017. So that's another 5 months, 6 months. Then the next one was January 2018, which is another. That was only 4 months, 4.5 months. And then the final one dropped like right after the Turning Tides one, Apocalypse. It released on February 20th. So it was such a slow trickle out from the beginning. Maybe they were just fixing a lot of issues or something. That's just how it goes. So it is interesting. The initial game reviewed really well critically, 8s and 9s. It is interesting. Obviously, we don't know because we haven't played a lot of Battlefield. Maybe if you guys are Battlefield fans and you're really excited for 5 and you think we're total idiots or you want to correct us on stuff, feel free to let us know in the comments. Hit us up on Twitter at IR Games. I would love to hear from people that play Battlefield regularly because maybe like our opinions are we put in 15 or 20 hours, therefore we don't have enough of a say in it. So I don't know.
I mean, the very first video we put up on this YouTube channel is a Battlefield 1 Let's Play.
That's true.
I mean, there's that.
That open beta that they
September 2nd, 2016.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, the beta for 1 when we thought it was going to be... I had fun with 1 for...
It was fun.
A bit, but it just didn't have any staying power for me.
A few months.
Yeah.
It's just like the gameplay is fun, but it's not
right.
This new Call of Duty, which we have kind of beat to death. And let us know what you think in the comments, like we said. But thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.